What's good, everybody? It's your girl Jakayla A, and I'm back with another video. Today we will be reviewing and applying the BTARTBOX nails, the X coat tips. This is basically BTARTBOX's Gel X system. So they come with 15 different sizes, and it's 300 pieces in this pack for about 30 bucks. If you ask me, that's an excellent price, especially because the French tip is very clean. It comes with instructions on the back, but I knew I was going to do a Gel X method, which I'm very familiar with, so I just hopped right into it, and I'm getting into my prep as I always do. You can use these with glue, and they will be more of a press-on style, but today we're doing the style that supposedly, or my experience, will have these lasting for a month. So I measure out sidewall to sidewall, make sure the fit is very snug. So it's the biggest one for my thumb. Then I use an e-file because I have it on me, and I make sure that the brim at the cuticle area is a little thin. Like I literally just etch it out a little bit to make it really thin, then etch the back. Etching the back will make it so that they last longer, and it'll make more of a good adhesion, and etching out the brim will make more of a flawless application. It'll be more seamless. I'm using the e-file to etch out the shine off of my nail. You could use a regular hand file. It's really not that deep. So if you don't have an e-file, use a hand file. I needed to push back my cuticle. I would recommend you do too. I saw that I had to use my cuticle bit after I pushed back my cuticle, so I went ahead and I used my cuticle bit. E-files are available on Amazon for a very, very inexpensive price. I did not need to cut my cuticle on my thumb, but later in the video you'll see me do it for my other hands. This is the primer. I did not get, that's the dehydrator. I'm using Young Nail Swipe. Also use No Lift primer, but I didn't get it in the frame. This light came off of Amazon. I've been using it for about 3 years now. I like the ones that are more hands-free, because every time you use this, you got to push the button. But it's what I got, so it's what I'm using. You also want to have a big lamp, a LED lamp, but this is a handheld. When you go in with your base coat gel, that's what I'm using. They do provide a system, BTARTBOX, but I'm using what I have already. You want to go in with enough to flood the whole entire nail plate, but you do not want to flood the cuticle. If you do, you could just use a buffer just like I am and get it off. But even if you don't flood the cuticle, you still use a buffer. It just makes very seamless application, and I love using the buffer for the finish. So that was cute. That's a cute little 30-second cure, and I'll move on to my other fingers. After I used my cuticle bit on my thumb, I was like, oh, I know I need to do it for my other fingers, and they were way worse. They were in way worse shape. I actually needed to use my nipper on my other 4 fingers because for whatever reason that dead skin was just all piled up, and you really do not want that. You want to have a very flawless application that is going to give you that look like you just left your nail tech. So after I went in with the cuticle bit, then I nipped, and then I went in with my sanding band. You're just removing the shine and the oils, not doing too much. Then you want to measure out each of these nails sidewall to sidewall. Sit them to the side. One of them was a little bit too big, so that's where you get your hand file, and you just etch around a little bit, remeasure, re-etch, remeasure, and eventually it'll work out. And I got it. So then I went in to that cuticle area to just thin it out a little bit. You know that press-on look. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you don't want that look, you want to just etch it out a little bit. But these are really thin at that area. That's what I will say about these. I found they were already really thin and very nice. So I just had to do a little etching on the inside, really. And that's just for a better, long-lasting adhesion. You don't even have to do that because they were matte in the inside. I don't know. I'm kind of impressed. So after you wipe all the dust off, because that's not good for our application, we're back to 1-2 step, okay? Get our base coat. Like I said, BTARTBOX does sell a system along with these. Well, you have to buy it separately, but they offer it. And that will be the ideal way that they want you to apply these. But I have done so many Gel X videos on this channel. I've done Gel X on me and my friends. And so this is me using a primer. So you just literally use the dehydrator and the primer. So since I've done Gel X, I just didn't feel a need to buy the system. But if you need to buy the system, nothing wrong with buying the system. Okay, I'm just using what I got. And look at the pretty look that I'm getting. What I'm loving is the shape. They're very narrow. The square is very crispy. And I don't know, I'm kind of gagged. You know, I used to sell press-ons, and I used to love dramatic, more elaborate press-ons. But for the simple girls, I would definitely refer the girls to BTARTBOX. These are kind of taking it, I don't know. So after I go ahead and clean up the cuticle with the buffer, it just makes a really pretty look. I'm going to use my light. This is just the one I have, and I'm curing for 60 seconds in full to make sure they're really on. Then I'm just going to take that little plastic nub off the top, off the tip of it, and I'm just going to file it down so it's a really crispy square. And then top coat the whole nail. If you need to stabilize your nail, just put your finger on something. I'm using this cleanup jar. I think it's a brush cleanup jar. And then I'm going to cure that for 60 seconds. I love the oil as a finishing touch. This is cuticle oil. It'll give you that fresh out the salon look, like you really just left somebody to charge you $150. And I don't know, it's eating. Here's the look with my backdrop. It's eating, y'all. I would recommend